Well, hello and welcome to another Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. It's great to see you and I hope that you're doing well. We're on a unit about fairness and we've been thinking a little bit about homelessness and the effect of poverty and globalisation around the world. And we're going to be thinking a little bit about unemployment today. So I wonder, what do you think people spend each month? As in, how much do you think people might spend on average in Britain each month? And what might they spend that on? So pause me now and see what list you can come up with. And in a moment, I'll play you our cheesy intro sequence. What do people spend each month? And what do they spend on? Okay, so what's the personal cost of unemployment? That's our title for today's lesson, so please get that written down, and as always, do pause me as we go. We're going to explore how unemployment can affect individuals as well. That's what our objective is. It's going to be good if we can describe how homelessness can affect people. It's going to be great if you can explain how homelessness can really be unfair to people who are unable to break free from it. And even better if you can evaluate if we've got a responsibility to help others in our society when it comes to unemployment. Sorry, those should say unemployment. It's good if we describe how unemployment affects people. Great if you can explain how unemployment can be unfair, and even better if you can talk about if we've got responsibilities to others. So we're going to be a reflective practitioner, and we're going to be thinking about our Christian value of justice as well. So we're going to look at money, we're going to look at unemployment, a little media clip to go with that, and then we're going to start preparing you for your assessment that you will be doing shortly. So you'll find in the description below a list here that's similar to what's behind me of different things that people may spend their money on each month in the UK. And you'll also find a list of prices. And I'd like you to try and match the price to the item. This is sort of on an average of a UK, so obviously you could spend a lot more than some of this, you could spend a lot less than some of this in some ways, but a lot of these are sort of fixed, but you don't have to buy all of these. Can I make that very clear at that point? So have a look through those and just see if you can work out how much you would think each of these things on average is worth in Britain. So go through it. So for example, you might say rent, you might expect to pay £600 for rent a month, for example. That isn't the correct answer, but that's an idea for you. Okay, I'm going to start going over those answers in a minute, so make sure you've got that done, so make sure you've paused me. Okay, so these are the answers then. Rent on average is £550 a month. Council tax is around about £150, sometimes considerably more. Gas for heating £100, electric £100. Again, could be less if you've got solar panels, but you need the outlay of doing that. Broadband £25, that's cheap. That is cheap. Mobile phone normally about £30. Insurance, so that's maybe your home and contents insurance, about £30. Pension, which is what you'd put money into to help you when you're older if you need income, which you will do. Pension on average £250, that's again on the low side. TV, Netflix, don't forget you've got to pay for your TV licence. Netflix £17 in total. Water £40 a month, and that's if you're on a meter. If you're on rates, again, it can be more, it can be less. then on average then you've got for a small food £600 a month. That would comfortably, if you've got a number of people living with you, £800 a month if you've got like you want to spend a medium amount of money on it, and 1,200 if you're going for the luxuries. Now I want you to imagine now that you lost your job overnight. Okay, so you suddenly woke up and found that you didn't have a job to go to, so your income had stopped. What things could you remove and still survive? Okay, so what could you do to reduce your outgoings? Okay, so the first thing people would do is probably reduce the amount they're spending on food. They would probably not pay into a pension anymore. You'd question if you needed the heating on quite as much. So then let's say you get universal credit. Now universal credit, which we'll come on to talk about in a little bit longer, a short time shall I say, is what the government give people each month to survive. Kind of the old job seekers allowance type thing, or dole as it used to be called. Basic universal credit is £500 a month. You would get a discount on council tax and water and rent. Some of these would potentially be paid for you, but you'd end up with £500, which is not very much. So you now need to work out what would you spend your £500 on, and you've got to include food within that. So see if you can work that out and just write some ideas down and then come back to me. Okay, so we're going to consider a little bit more about universal credit now. Now I've got this from the BBC. I'm hoping it will work. If it doesn't work, you will find it linked in the description below. And we're going to think about what Wes would do. So what's universal credit and how does it make a difference? So we're going to play the first part of this now. So I just want you to watch this.
In the midst of an economic recession, we're all in it together, but some are in it deeper than others. With 1 in 5 young people struggling to find work, and many dependent on benefits, Britain's youth is being hit hard. In Birmingham, 19-year-old Wes is having a hard time at home.
Me and my mum have good and bad days. We can be alright for 1 minute and the next minute we can be completely different. I just want to get my own place in it because there's no space in my house anymore. It's just overcrowding, there's no income coming in. So yeah, I've shared a room with my brother for 19 years. In this cramped room.
Wes has decided his only option is to try and get a place in a young person's hostel.
I just want to do things for myself now. I've done college, school, and I ain't got a job. So getting a hostel is the first step of me really doing anything.
Wes has arranged a meeting about getting a hostel place.
It's one step of being a child, innit? Going into the adulthood, getting my own place. I'm just sick of being stuck in other people's houses and not having a place of my own.
The meeting didn't go well, and without a secure home or a job, Wes is often on the move. But one thing is making him think about his future. A year ago, Wes became a dad and is determined to be there for his son. But on £53 a week job seeker's allowance, it's hard to contribute.
Financially, yeah, it was hard because there's stuff that you just can't do all the time. I've been doing a bit of voluntary work, but I don't know, I don't want to be doing voluntary work. Who wants to work for free? got to step up now. I've got to be a dad. I've got to grow up. I need to be there for him, you know what I'm saying?
Wes may be a dad, but he and Rowan's mum are not in a relationship.
When he's here with Rowan, he is good. I'm not going to fault him on that. But he does do the proper dad job. But he's still a young boy inside. So
I don't know, I didn't expect it to be as hard as it is. Go on.
it's their child as well. They help make it, so they should pay the way as well. Because it's not easy. You know, a tin of milk, look, even of £12 now, that don't get you nowhere. So if he got a job, it'd be so much easier.
Wes isn't the only teen dad on the estate. Almost all his mates are dads, and out of work. His close mate Aaron has asked him to come round. With no money and a hungry baby, he's desperate.
You know what you need to do, Aaron? Ask someone to lend you some money, simple as. Simple.
I went to my dad for yesterday to borrow money, innit? Can't do that now. Oh, you've been sick. Oh, bless. There's not many people out there that'll borrow me things.
They both know what the options for making money on an estate can involve.
If I got a bit of change in my pocket, I can go out there, grab a little something and go flip it and make a little bit of money, innit?
Well, no, you don't even want to be getting yourself sucked in all this stupidness.
No, I know, but it's just you can ask me to borrow money, but it's not like I need to borrow like a little bit, you know, you need stuff, but...
Can you use your phone here?
Yeah, but...
Hi, this is Johnson Plus. Please press 1. Hate this.
Wes has decided to try and lend Aaron the money himself, but his JSA payment hasn't come through, and the job centre isn't much help.
Okay then. Thanks. Right, bye. She said get a crisis loan for now. She said it ain't been processed. And then the last time they offered me a crisis loan, £14. But take the piss, but that's I'm not even gonna get mad about it because now I'll just have to see what else I can do. So
For now, he's as skint as Aaron.
Okay, so with that watch, now we're going to think, what would you do in Wes's position? If you were Wes, what sort of cutbacks would you need to make? What sort of lifestyle changes would you need to make? And do you think there'd be any hope for you? Maybe make a few comments in your book about what you would do if you were in Wes's position. Okay, and now we're going to finish the clip off, so I'd like you to now see what happens to Wes.
For Wes, one of the problems of being a teen dad is that his £53 a week JSA makes no allowance for his son. As the mum, the extra benefits go to Laura. Today, she's going to the market with her mate Sophie.
With my benefits, my money's every fortnight, so on a good week, I go and do my proper shopping, so I go to Asda, get whatever there, and then on the weekend, I go to the market.
These 60p? Those are 60p.
When you're on benefits and you're a young parent, it's absolutely rubbish. You can't do what you want, you can't buy what you want. Spend my other shopping in Asda with my milk tokens, which I get £3.10 on each milk token. And then down here, I get my fruit and veg. I just got 3 mixed bowls of veg for £2. Young girls think, yeah, I'm going to have a baby, I get this money, I don't have to work and whatever. It's not like that, it's way harder.
I mean, I think the boys around us need to grow up and they need to understand that becoming a father isn't just being the sperm donor or being the guy that comes around every weekend and spends a few hours with his child.
I'm saying if you're there for your son, you see him a lot. You ain't got to worry about financial stuff until you can afford it. That's how I see it.
As long as you're there,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a baby to grow up, does it? Which we've learnt that. But I think with boys it takes longer to mature, doesn't it? They've not had to go out and fend for themselves. I don't think they understand how good it feels to achieve something, and that's what they need to feel.
That's the good thing about Wes. He does more than what the other lads do.
And it turns out that one job application has been successful.
So we're going to be doing the kick-up competition.
Wes has landed his dream job of coaching football. It may be only for 3 weeks, but it's paid work.
I signed off Job Centre, so no more debt.
What one you doing?
Get paid, and then hopefully go out and find a permanent job. Turn into a teacher. That's how I feel. I feel like a teacher.
You tend to go one way, and you drop and go that way.
When I was sitting at my house, ain't had a job, bored out my face. I just felt like smoking a spliff, but now that I'm actually doing something, I don't want to smoke. I'm doing something that I enjoy, and I'm getting paid for it. £6 something an hour, which is all right for kicking around the football, teaching kids, isn't it? I wouldn't mind getting into academies and coaching academies because I know I got the level to do that. I know I can do that, so that's something I push for.
Is a new start here?
Hopefully. I'd say so, actually. I can't say hopefully. There's no going back now.
So one thing that's useful for you to be aware of is the answer to these 3 questions, which is what is fair pay, what is equal pay and who does it apply to, and what does the term living wage mean? That's not too difficult because it's all on the screen in front of you. So what you need to do is you need to answer those 3 questions in full sentences. You have to pause me while you do that, come back to me when you're done. So we said it'd be good if we could describe how unemployment can affect people. I think we've got some really good ideas about that. Talk about how unemployment could be actually unfair, how some people, like Wes for example, are unable to break free from it at points in their life, and actually that's really difficult. And even better if we think if we have responsibility to help others. So